Yes, indeed, Chukudi. In this segment of my comments, I want to address or answer the questions about Mike's sudden U-turn from Italy when he left Nigeria. So this was in the early 80s, Anobem School. I was preparing for my school start examination when Mike returned back. So it was not a very pleasant thing to happen to the family because the situation Papa Nonime, Papa needed help, which explained why Papa did struggle or Tiga Mike na NPC, Tiga Chinedu na Radio Nigeria. So when Mike left, Chinedu left, and then suddenly part Michael Ohukwabak Shayaga Padoga Ayajija Italy. My dad was not very happy about it because I remember very fine Papa sit him down, Boma Machine Ahayakara Ho Ayage Azundomoya up to secondary school or to Akayaha because my dad was earning, like as I said, not more than 150 naira every month. So that is not the kind of salary for a man that you have Ayatila Umuyana University. So, but Aya Genyekwa his own support for any of his children who wants to go further. But how won't get back? I am not be in debt. I am not be Egunde Chinedu JJ school, Mike JJ school, I have to Chabalea, how could I tell here for Mike Shaga Italy. Okay, and so body on. But the fact that I'm trying to make now is this. This was at in the early 80s, the world was still open. A lot of things were still relaxed. There were no restrictions at all. Even going to the embassy to pick up a visa, there were no restrictions. This was a time that it was almost like you could go with a piece of paper, somebody can kataria, signature, send the legia, kaparia jena Italy, to the embassy. Embassy will grant you visa based on that. So that was the procedure at that of in those days of early 80s. You can imagine in even the situation that so many Ghanaians who were resident in Nigeria were traveling with Nigerian passport and undetected. Nobody was watching them because the immigration laws and custom laws was very, very free. There was no restrictions anywhere. Yaounde Ndobi Crown visa to Italy. When he came, she obi kara at on panto at on into a paragadianaka. You don't even need to hide it because of the way things was at that time. There were no suspicions, nothing. The world was so free. So somebody will take parantua hinaka baje plane, paraquaya water, nobody will challenge the person. But things has changed today. Even a drop of water you cannot take with you. So at that time it was very, very simple and very easy. Onyo take Pakwana Italy, Nga Himaki Opera Italy, with what I know about Italy, how people are surviving. Some kind of menial job, either in the farm, in the plantation, or whatever job in the shopping mall, whatever you are doing, you can be doing that job and at the same time going to school. You register in some schooling. You are doing some classes, you are working, you sending at the same time, you get some money, you send some money home to your parents. I want a papa na ego 4 months after my kijiri J Alabeke. Ego ahi wuni kenye papa maka yele hapro the debt. Ego papa mji open the Venus na ndeli le papa birego. Papa ko to chao gonda he. Ya grow a few months again. Listen to ego. Papa wuni ke shoke. This one room or 3.5 square meters. I actually changed and I actually add one room again to be able to live in the room and the parlor. Papa was supposed to do that, for God's sake. But Papa was trapped in that one room. Where ejiri akwa already separate a bedroom, Papa, and a bed, Papa, Mama, a bed in Hajia. Anya manage which was almost half of the room, which was not very good. So this was a situation whereby Papa have expected help to come. But that did not happen. So for Mike, when I with a golden spoon, because Mama and Papa pampered Mike never suffered. Mike didn't even know how to be able to, he was trained to be a leech for the rest of his life. So Lagos, Abia to Lagos to come and spend holiday. Mike cannot food for one day, Yapara to Jerican, Para bucket. She has no room, Kanje Banyaja Amiri, because I need them when I'm well. More which you could edge me with open Jenny Kate, what I'm in pump, the pump which was about 3.5 kilometers, sometimes 3 kilometers away to Ijesha. Mike don't do anything, never did nothing. All they did was relax. So again, Jota is one you got that attitude of somebody who was pampered in Italy. Okay, all than Italy, with what I know about Italy, Oga there inside the room, I'm going to get 5 or 6 inside one room. You have to contribute, you have to pay your own share of the rent, you have to feed yourself. The best thing everybody and take wine, take different kind of things to be able to earn a living. I'm gonna support your family. I'm going to take wine in there. I'm gonna home abroad. I'm gonna husband na Italy. They are sending money home to their parents to take care of their own children as well, taking care of their father, mother, and children. So they are also hustling in Italy. Ndị ka nwoke alụrụ nwaanyị makwana anọdụrụ na hustle na-eme plan. Ndị ka help ga papa ahụ to do one thing or the other every month. They are sending money home. Their papa ahụ nwa ya eme U-turn n'ihi na gịnị, he was never trained to be a hustler. Mike was trained to be a leech. So nke ahụ nọ n'Italy, you cannot be able to wake up in the morning, go and work hard, earn your own money, machi akwụma rent, give of ego to you, guys, this is my own share of the rent. You deposit that money, and then ewere akwụọ rent. Ka ahụ nkwenye ike agụ agụmagụ ga ejeso ohe ga-eri. Onye aka jụrụ oyi eji eje ala bekee. Ala bekee is not a test for, ala bekee is a test for how strong, how determined a man want to be. And Mike is not an example of a man who was trained to be a hustler. He never hustles. He never did anything that will make him to aspire into being, in a shining example, occupy the position of a shining example of a man that can hustle. The only thing he is good in doing is this man may attach himself to that place, stay there as a leech. And the onyeka here reach shift to the next person, continue to leech here and there, like somebody who has no footprint, who has no architectural laid down plan of how he wants to follow his life. For such a person to begin to open his mouth to talk to me is something I cannot even understand. Thank you for listening.